Hi, welcome back to JJ's Productions. We've got another Hitman Roulette. This time we're doing Freedom Fighters, the Colorado level. We're starting Undercover at the Demolition Range, and for the rest of the conditions I'm going to leave them up in the top right corner because it's a very busy roulette and I want to be able to show you what I'm doing. Right now what I'm doing is I'm heading for the barracks. This is where the point man is and one of the Militia spec ops operatives. I don't know what you would call them. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of both of them. So we're going to throw a breach charge in here, we're going to pick up emetic poison for later on, we're going to grab this shovel, and then we're going to knock out the Militia specs op guy. Pick the shovel and the remote breach charge up, and then we're going to knock out the point man. Try and do it from an angle so that you don't get unconscious witness. It's not imperative, it just means it's easier when you're looking at it. Hide his body and then we can move on. The barracks area is going to be very good when we need the Militia Kook and Militia Soldier disguises later on, but right now what we need to do is prepare the area for killing Maya Pavati. Now she is the second kill on the list, but we do need to prepare early. The first kill, as I am looking at this moment towards, is Sean Rose. His kill is going to be a little bit around the 5-minute mark, so as you can tell it's a lot of build up with this one. I've just placed a remote breach charge near an NPC who I need to lure to this area. At this point I would like to remind you to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be repeating this a few times during the video, I hope you don't mind. As I was saying, that NPC has seen the breach charge and is going to bring it in here. Be careful of a guard in the room where 47 is looking. You can see if he sometimes looks this way, you have to be careful in case he notices you as you're subduing this NPC. Once you knocked him out, just hide him in this cupboard and then you can move on back to the barracks. On your way back to the barracks, make sure that you pick up everything that you've dropped, so in this case the gun and the melee weapon that you brought along. Make sure you grab the screwdriver, or otherwise make sure you grab another melee weapon that's lethal. And we're going to now go to the Militia chef. I dropped the shotgun there because I know that it's going to be taken away and it'll just keep it out of my way, and it means that Pavati won't be bothered by it. That's my priority at this point. So at this point we've got the Militia chef in front of us, we've put the breach charge right in front of him and we've just waited a second to make sure he was the one that notices it. You have to make sure he's the one. Sometimes one of the soldiers around can see it and come over here. If that's the case, restart the mission because it just takes all the timings out of sync, and it means that you're going on for a 20-25 minute mission maybe instead of 15. The reason why I want to get the Militia chef disguise right now is I need to poison a drink for the guard who has the Interpol badge, and I can't do that any earlier, and if I try and do it any later, again it will mess up the timings. So it's very important that I get it right now. So moving on, we've picked the remote breach charge up again. I just like picking them up so I know how many I've got, but if you don't do it, it's not as important. We're going to poison this drink. If Penelope Graves is still here at this point, you are doing well for time, so don't panic. At this point, what we're going to do is go back into the barracks and we're going to hide the chef's body, or the cook's body. You have to be a little careful because people do tend to look in here, but it's not as risky as it might sound. You might get a little hint of suspicion, but nothing too risky, so don't panic. What I will do then is change into the point man disguise. As I alluded to, I'm doing good for time, so I've got the point man disguise on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lure a militia soldier inside. That way I can also get another disguise ready-made for myself. If you are running short for time, for example, if by the time you've got the point man disguise on and the clock is around 4 minutes, I would go straight to Sean Rose, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But if you've got the time like I have, just take a second and knock this guy out, because it just means you've got a bit more time later on and it's not stacking events up. It's all about personal choice. I felt I could fit this in and it did fit in quite nicely, but it all depends how comfortable you feel after watching this if you want to try it yourself. I could see on the clock it was 4 minutes 20, and I know that Sean Rose is in the kill zone at the 5-minute mark, or actually to be precise it's the 4 minutes 59 mark, give or take a few seconds if the cutscene didn't cut as quick as you'd like at the beginning. So I'm getting this wrench, that's very important for the Ezraberg kill. and all I'm doing now is getting into position. I'm going to double check that Rose is on his way using instinct, but besides that I'm in position to knock the hay bale on him. Do be careful taking the shot. I actually failed this a few times. I think I might have been at a poor distance and the pistol wasn't willing to take the shot, so just keep an eye on the time, keep an eye on Rose's position on the minimap and you should be fine. By now, the emetic poison that we used on the Militia technician will be well into effect, so we're going to knock him out. On the way, we're going to pass Ezra Berg. Not anything we've got to do with him, but it's just handy knowing what part of his cycle he's on. What I would advise at this point as well, and I will do it, is make sure you take out the camera near the exit. When I was getting to the end, I wasn't 100% sure if I'd taken it out at this point, so make sure that you do it. Another little point, as I've not had the time to cover the conditions of this mission, do note the do not climb and do not crouch conditions. The do not climb one is pretty easy to avoid, but the crouch one can be difficult if you try and do close quarters takedowns. That's why in this video the majority, if not all of the takedowns are thrown takedowns. That's what I would advise you to do if ever you come across that condition, but if you find another way, do let me know. So I'm getting back into the Militia chef disguise, and all I'm doing at this point is just going back to the area I cleared earlier for Maya Pavati. It's a little too short a window to try and work on any of the Ezra Berg stuff, and equally so the same for Penelope Graves. So the best thing to do is just get back into position, make sure you don't miss Pavati when she's there. On a different topic, I would say that this is the most challenging roulette I've done, which is not a surprise considering it's Colorado. But the challenge has come from just making sure that the video was short and concise, really. 15 minutes might seem a long time to someone, and I can imagine a load of people saying TLDR, but I'm thinking to myself, I have to get as many of the kills in with Silent Assassin, so I'm hoping I've created a good route here considering the kill conditions I was given. In that vein, if you've made it this far into the video, I would like to say again, if you could like this video, I would appreciate it. And if you could subscribe to my channel, again, it would be appreciated, just for the fact that I'm making these videos and I'm just hoping people will enjoy them. So going back to the roulette, we've knocked the generator out. That brings Pavati over here. We've got the screwdriver out, and if we're looking into the room just ahead, the guard will turn around just as Pavati is going to turn the generator off. It's a very close call, but it is about as perfect timing as I could have got. So we're just going to have a look, and if you can see, the guard was just walking away as I threw it, so I couldn't have got better. The one thing I would advise you, again if you try this, is look on the roof behind where we are now, where the garage is. There's a guard who occasionally looks down at the generator. Just be careful, because he can be a nosy little bugger, and that can easily ruin the Pavati kill, so just again, be careful of him. We're now moving on to Ezra Berg, and you may be able to tell, but this was done in a contract. I'll leave the contract details down in the description, but the reason for it is because of the exit condition that I had to exit by the bridge. Now, when I actually created the contract, I did a completely different kill for Ezra, in that I used the lawnmower. I thought it'd be a good way to effectively take him out, but I found out it was a very unreliable way to do it. Now, I'm going to just pause that thought for a second, because I'll admit, when I was walking back in here, I couldn't help but think to myself, what a mess. I could not find that remote breach charge for love nor money. It may not look like it on film, because I'm watching it live now, and I'm thinking, it wasn't that messy, but at the time I was thinking, this is a mess. You know, there's no dead bodies yet, it looks terrible. That sidetrack aside, with Berg, the lawnmower technique, it did work occasionally by using the wrench, but you had to be quite fortunate that the guards didn't see you. It was possible, but it was one I wouldn't advise. Whereas this method, I've done it twice, and it did work both times. So I would advise using this method, as it's the more reliable one. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw 2 breach charges into this room separately. We throw one in, and the guard from outside will come inside and pick it up. I tried also dropping the gun in the hope that he would see the gun, but he just completely ignores that and goes to the breach charge. Seeing that, what I do is I drop the gun here. The simple reason being, that guard will come back before I can get the other guard from inside outside. This is very convoluted, but the guard inside is a real pain as well. So I was very fortunate I could throw that breach charge in just before the door shut. The guard inside is going to take a lifetime, I feel, to pick that breach charge up. It's plenty of time for the guard who's just gone off to come back. And what we do from there is we're going to just wait for both guards to be outside so that we can knock Berg out. At this point, I'm going to say, write in the comments if you don't understand what I just said. In action, it should be quite clear what I meant, but that is a very complicated series of events, really, to explain otherwise. Anyway, he's going outside. The one who's already walked away is going to see the gun. What we're going to do is throw the weapon at Berg. That'll knock him out. We're going to shoot that, the gas canister. And the only reason I delay here is because I know that the guard who's just come back has seen the weapon I left. If I take a shot now, I'm going to get spotted. So the reason I delay it is because I want his back turned before I take a shot. Once you've taken the shot, get out of there. Now we're going to go back to the barracks and we're going to pick up the disguise we started with, the explosive specialist disguise. We're going to pass Penelope Graves on the way, and again, it all depends how fast or slow you've done this, but if you are trying to repeat this process, you might want to give her a bump. I actually thought about it then and I thought maybe it wouldn't be worth it, but again, it's your call entirely. At this point I go back to the what a mess thing because there's that many disguises in here, it took a minute or two to work them out. Body found on the screen is Ezra, so I wasn't worried about that. With explosions, just for those of you who aren't 100% certain, explosions count as accidents, accidents can have bodies found, hence why I wasn't worried about Sean Rose's body being found. So now we're in an opportunity, so it's a bit more difficult to speed this up. I can't really do anything more than just wait this cutscene out. Well, it's not a cutscene, it's just a little dialogue between the two. Once that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to try and manipulate a soldier who is a little bit of a pain outside. We're going to grab the shotgun we dropped earlier and we're going to try and manipulate him. I say try because the first time I tried here, he wasn't taking it. As you can see, I left it there and I thought, right, I'm okay. But the thing is, he turns around very quickly. So I think, no, that's too early, you're going to move it away and I'm not going to have time to do what I need to do. So I ran away with it a bit and I went to go and get the weapon I need for the kill, the old axe. I pick it up and I just drop it somewhere over here just for the fact that I needed to do something for a minute just while that soldier was wondering what the heck I was doing. He's going over there to have a pee. I don't know why he does that. You take the shotgun, drop it into his path so he'll see it. At that point, we're going to go back this way, pick up the old axe, not that you need it right now, but it's just handy to know where it is, and we're going to head into this little shack and have the conversation with Penelope. Again, like and subscribe to my channel, especially if you've been watching the video this long, it would be appreciated.
Who are you anyway?
So again, we got the dialogue and there's not a lot more I can say regarding this. The only thing I can add is that the actual series of events that envelop this opportunity, I'm very pleased how it works out. That shotgun distraction did exactly what I was after in some way. What it did was, it allowed the guy who I was trying to distract just to be on his way back by the time this conversation's finished. It might not seem much the fact that he's coming back, but the idea is then I can just drop something else in his path, which in this case I'm going to drop the silver baller. Again, it might not seem much, but the thing is, he can see the kill. So we've got to get rid of him. And if he was nearer to than he is, it would just mean he'd be further to turn around and go to drop the silver baller off. So I actually found the timing near perfect here. He has to pick the gun up, obviously, and we're going to just keep an eye on him. As soon as he turns around, we're going to throw the old axe at Penelope. It's just a beautiful thing to watch in my eyes as far as Hitman kills go. If anything, I just love it because it hides the body for you and it even takes the weapon with it. You just cannot ask any more of a Hitman kill, really. maybe you could, but I think I've just enjoyed this contract in the end, or this roulette. So, thank you very much for watching. As I said somewhere earlier in the video, I wasn't sure that I'd taken out the camera, so that's why I grabbed the silver baller. If you didn't take it out, make sure you grab it back. But thank you for watching, and I do hope I'll see you again soon, because if you've stuck it out for a 15-minute roulette, which I've watched a few myself on other YouTube channels, and I know that the standard length is around 8 minutes if you're lucky. If you stuck it out for a 15-minute one, thank you very much for that. And I hope to see you again soon, because I've got Hokkaido coming up next week, so that should be interesting. I haven't even drawn it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So next Saturday, Hokkaido. I'll see you then. Bye for now.